Got a class in 1 hour, so this is called speed painting. Welcome back to Runner's Garden. Hey, I'm Jay, and I make videos about traditional characters in alphabetical order according to the Pinyin romanization system. Last week, we did 4 tones, da, 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 and da. This week, we're taking a look at different forms of die. Nothing to do with death in this video, but there is a little evil. The tones that we covered today are first tone, die, no second tone today, third tone, die, and a lot of fourth tone, die. It still doesn't sound right to say that. 8 characters in the fourth tone. Let's go over the radicals that you'll need first. I'll show you the radicals that we've been talking about in a number of videos just for review. Try to get the tones right and the pronunciation and the meaning. Here we go. That's ko. Shi. That's the scholar or soldier radical. Xi. Knight. Chi. Step with the left foot. Tian. Field. It looks like they're irrigating because there's a cross between there where the water would go if that's a top view of a field. Xin, heart. Si, private. Mu, try to be quicker than me. Bei, shellfish or money radical. Tun, inch or small. Yi, that's clothing, and it's a little bit squashed for reasons which we'll get to later. This is the inverted ren, not the character ren, but the side radical ren. Jin, that's also a cloth radical. Yi, it's a hunting tool. I'm fairly sure you know this one already. Yi, you know that one. All right, we are ready to start today's lesson. Here's first tone, die, die, and it can also be pronounced I. We did go over this in the I video above, or at least I remember writing about it in the description. Die means stupid, dull, or blank. 书呆子, a nerd, a bookworm. 呆账, an irrecoverable loan or bad debt. I have it set up on my pedestal. That's ko over mu, mouth over wood. So you can just think of a kind of a wooden dummy. It has a mouth, but it doesn't really say much. It can't. It's just wood. Character 2, we have E over she. She, evening, night, or dusk. She, actually it's a little bit more like that. Die, third tone. Die is a standalone character meaning bad, but it's also a radical, as you can see here. In combination with other characters or components, it's bad stuff, including death. For our purposes today, as a standalone character, it just means bad. Dai Ren, or Dai Tu, is an evildoer, a villain, a bad guy. Hao Dai is at any rate, for better or for worse. For example, 好歹他是你的老师，你还是要尊敬他. At any rate, he or she is your teacher, so you should honor or respect him or her. 好歹他是你的老师，你还是要尊敬他. Again, it's 1 over night. Die. And you think of evil deeds being done at night, right? Ren next to E. Let's check it out. That's the inverted person radical next to E. This is an interesting radical. If you have another slash through it here, it's the battle axe seen in, for example, Wall and a lot of other characters that we've talked about in earlier videos. But this one, E, is also a weapon or a hunting tool. It is a bow, an arrow. An arrow has a string attached to it. In my research, I found it. Why would you do that? Because you can save arrows. You can pull your arrow back after you shoot what you shot. Beautiful. Die. Put this up here. I'll give you a couple examples. As a verb to take the place of, substitute. Example, 代表 means to represent, or 代替 to substitute. 代理 is an agent or a representative for another person. 代课老师, substitute teacher. Been there, done that. 时代, an epoch, a time, an era, a generation. Just like in English, you can talk about generation being from grandparents, parents, kids, or generation in terms of like the next cell phone coming out, DE die, DR die, D10 die. Different generations of, for example, electronics. This character is also used for dynasty. 宋代, Tang Dai. This is a great coffee table book by Anne Paludan, Chronicle of the Chinese Emperors, all 157 of them. And it talks about all the different dynasties. Again, dynasty, Dai. There's another word, Chao, which we have gone over before. Check out the video above. So either or, Chao or Dai. As we can see, Dai is extremely versatile. Just 5 strokes. Just get this out of the way because we're going to use some more radicals and add to that later. Let's take a break and go over to the vlog portion of my video. I'm doing a little fixing up around the place. Here's some concrete that I'm going to paint. You see how dirty this is? That's where the kids touch their grubby little hands. This is called BI. I spent about a half hour scraping all this off. Wall cancer. And I got to sand it a little more maybe. And every time you do that, you have stuff fall down here and you got to sweep it up. It's got to be dust free before I can start to paint. So it's a pretty big job. And we have 11 classrooms. There's some higher areas to do too. Breaks over, back to our characters. Going on to 2 more characters that are 9 strokes apiece. This one means to wait for, or to treat, or to wait on. Also, 待. 待客, to receive guests. Or because we don't want to make it sound like substitute teacher, 招待客人. For this one, I have to do a kind of little balancing act, but there we go. Beautiful. 吃 next to 是 over 寸. If we take the step with the left foot radical away, that's 吃, you are left with 是 over 寸. And these 2 standing alone means temple. So if you're having somebody step into a temple, 师, the monks or the hosts would likely treat them well. That's the meaning, to wait on a treat. I'm only going up halfway because the kids don't touch up high and I'm lazy. Another dai is this one. It means to be lazy, idle, slacker. Dai duo, lazy. Dai gong, to go slow at work. I'm going to assume that you've seen this character before. This is private, 是 over 口, mouth. And that is the character for Taiwan. Simplified. If we add a heart beneath it, in here. 4th tone. Dai. The sound component, which doesn't always sound exactly the same, but Tai rhymes with dai. And a meaning component. Laziness is something that, is internal. It comes from the heart. Your heart is either into something or it's not. And when it's not, you're feeling lazy. This dai is belt, band, zone, to bear or to carry.
你好，有外带2个。
常用的哦. On the top of the character, you see a horizontal line. Maybe you can think of that as a belt tying the vertical strokes together. There is one radical that we've gone over earlier today, which is at the bottom. That's jin. But the rest of the strokes, I don't have them written on those little wooden tiles that you saw. So here are the components courtesy of the Pleco app. It's 11 strokes, and if you get rid of 2 of the top vertical strokes, you're left with 9 strokes in simplified. This character can also be used for to lead, like lead the way, 带路. Dai. I have vowed to not buy any more leather belts in my lifetime, I hope. Back in the day, if you did not have a leather belt, you would be using more of a sash, which would be made of cloth, and that is the radical for cloth. 日代 is a tropical zone of the earth. If you enjoy learning new traditional Chinese characters, please consider subscribing. But remember, this requires practice. It's a little bit like painting. You have to go over it a few times. Now we can go back up to this one. Do you still remember this one? This is the one for generation. And we take an E, that's the clothing. And this is why I made it kind of squat. That's the character for a bag or a satchel, a purse. A lot of different bag type things. And bags were cloth sometimes. And just like this is cloth, this is clothing, but still, you get the idea, cloth. You might carry a weapon in your bag. It's something for people, right? Red. 口袋, pocket. Literally a mouth bag. I'm making these tiles for future videos as well, so I have a 塑胶袋, plastic bag to hold them in. 也有一个袋子。为什么？
要去买晚餐啊。
You see that boomerang up there? I don't feel like getting it, but there's probably a 袋鼠 on there. That is literally a rat with a bag. Can you guess the animal? That boomerang is from Australia. You guessed it. Kangaroo. Literally bag rat. He doesn't look too good. If we have a bay underneath it. Shellfish money radical. Let's go like that. It's also die. It's too much of a glare. That means a loan, like Taiwan, that you get from the bank. This is pronounced die, fourth tone or third tone die. Seize, capture, arrest. Example, 逮捕, arrest. And as third tone, 逮住, to catch, like a person or catch a chance or a bird. On the left, it features the walking radical, and it makes sense. You need to walk up to something to capture it. The whole right side is called li, and that means to be subservient. If you are caught, I guess you'd have to be subservient to whoever caught you. And at the bottom, we do see the water radical. I don't know where that comes from. Possibly catching fish? Congratulations, you made it to the last character today. Also fourth tone, dai. To honor, it's also surname, and to put on, as in an accessory. In terms of honor, we have, for example, 爱戴, to respect and support. And to put on, 戴帽子, to put on a hat. Nice hat, Leonardo. To remember all the strokes in this one, we can imagine a soldier. That's the soldier scholar radical with a weapon. The side on the right is the battle axe, and he's protecting his land. There's the field together with others. And at the lower left, we have hands working together. The soldier is putting on, that's the meaning, his helmet to enter into battle, to protect his family name. It's also a surname, and protect his honor, another meaning of that character. Dai, fourth tone. Next time, please join me. I'm doing characters that are written as D-A-N in Pinyin, but it's not Dan. It's pronounced Dan. We'll be doing first tone, Dan, third tone, Dan, and Dan. I hope I helped you brush up on your Mandarin Chinese traditional characters. Thanks for watching my What a Character series. Runner's Garden signing off.